Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, designer of the Paulk workbench and the total station. And today I'm going to answer the question of how do I adjust the laser on Festool's Kapex miter saw. So to answer the question of how to adjust the lasers on the Festool Kapex miter saw, I don't know. And the reason I don't know, though I'm the owner of two of these, they come from the factory set very precisely and have never had to do it. But I thought since I have them, I'd go ahead and throw the adjustments off and bring them back in and show you how I did it. So the first thing I did was get out the book and check out these adjustment points on the left side of the saw. There are two lasers on the miter saw, one for the right side of the blade and one for the left, which makes a lot of sense. When you're making a cut and you have a mark on your piece, you want to have the blade, to the outside of that mark or the ends, depending on which side you're cutting. So having a laser set precisely to either side of the blade makes for very quick, very accurate cutting. So the laser has to, from up in the saw, has to project down the blade and put a parallel line right where, in this case, the right side of the blade would cut, and in the case over here, the left side. So that light has to come down. It has to be sort of tipped in at the right angle. It has to be turned so it's parallel, and then it also has to move in and out so that you can get it right up on the mark. And again, come from the factory set. You don't really need to change them. And in fact, on the side of the saw here, where there are three adjustments, and these are a 2.5 millimeter Allen adjustment, and the left side, another three doing the exact same thing, those are actually covered over with a decal. And so to make the adjustments, you actually have to puncture the side of the saw. Now I've done it on all of the right side, and I started on the left, and so I punched through there's three on the left, so punch there, and then there's a little hole drawn, and you just punch right through the sticker. So now all six of mine are punched through. And so to make the adjustments, I first took a quick look at the manual, and there's not really a lot to it. On page 17, the lower panel is the first section, and it describes the 6 adjustments, or the 3 for the right and the left, gives them a number, and then you move to the next page, page 18, and it gives you 1, 2, 3 more panels. So there's only 4 panels. It's pretty straightforward, but I went ahead and took note of what they were calling them and the numbers, and then I labeled with one of my fast cap long nose markers in silver, writes good on black. I wrote the number and an abbreviation of what it is. So 2.6 is for the line, and 2.5 does parallel, and then 2.4 does inclination. And I don't quite have a great understanding of what they mean by that, other than looking at the diagrams. And the inclination has something to do with moving the line in and out so that it shows, when the blade is up and down, and also something to do with when you're cutting off to the right, or in one case off to the left. So again, I'm not an engineer on this. I'm just a real world carpenter, and I'm making adjustments so that I know when I put the light on my mark, it's going to work. And it's also important that when I'm cutting a wide piece, that it can shine to a mark on the outside edge. And that's because I'll cut from the outside back in, as opposed to set it there, pull it out, and cut back in. So it is important that it's parallel, and if I have a mark on the inside or the outside, that the line hit both. So the way I am going to do this adjustment, and I don't know if the camera is going to show you the angles on the laser. Again, how I'm holding the camera and how the camera's showing may show it off, but when I'm looking at it with my eye, I'm seeing it go to where I need it to be to make my cut. So What I'm going to do is just take a board. This is a wide, thick board, and I'm going to make a curve cut that then I can adjust the line to. Now, I don't want this moving around after I make my cut because I will be adjusting the line to that. So I'm going to clamp it down. I rarely ever clamp anything on the miter saw, but in this case, since I'm doing a precise adjustment to a laser, I want to make sure it doesn't move. And then all I'm going to do is just kind of cut a curve through this. So now I have a line right where the blade cuts. So after I see the line where it is on my cut, I want to check that it's parallel. Now obviously this is a visible check, but I've thrown mine off a little bit because I want to make the adjustment. With the camera off to the left, you're not going to be able to see how the line is, but I've got it so that it's a little bit off parallel the right side. I'm only adjusting the right side. I don't want to mess with my factory settings on the left. So 22.5 is the right side parallel. I'm going to stick my 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench in, and I'm just going to turn it just to make sure that the line hits right on my cut from front to back. And that's absolutely perfect there. I'm right along the edge. So now with it parallel, I want to make sure that the laser's shining right where the mark would go. And so that happens to be for the right side, 22.6. And then I can move the line in and out until it's right on the edge of the cut. So with those couple of adjustments and just visually looking at it, even if I didn't know what these did and didn't have the manual to tell me, I would just look at where the line is and just check front, back, and also putting the blade down and seeing where things end up. So this wasn't a super technical video on exactly what all of this stuff does. Basically, I'm a carpenter and there's a bright line that shines on my mark, and I want to make sure that when I cut, it cuts on the line. I would like to see somebody do a more technical one. So if somebody out there with a Kapex has spent more time and knows more about this, make a video, post it on YouTube, and then let me know, and I will like it and either reshare it, I'll reshare it so that other people will be able to find it. And Festool engineers, if you guys are watching, I couldn't find more information on this than that was in the manual. So if you've got a video, I couldn't find it. If you don't have a video, make one so we can all take a look at it and maybe have a better understanding of how this works. If you like these tooltip videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share it with others. And if you want a set of plans to build yourself a total station or the Paulk workbench, click on the link here and you'll be taken right over to the Paulk Home Store, and you'll be able to order them there. And if you do order them, recognize that you'll get a receipt immediately, and at the bottom, you have to scroll down. At the bottom of that receipt, there's a link, a download link, and you can download the plans in PDF form immediately. Even after all this time, I still get emails on a weekly basis of saying, hey, I'm waiting on my plans. You haven't emailed my plans yet. And the reality is the minute you purchase them, they're yours to download. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.